Venom jumps from host to host. He goes to the same club as he does in the film, and he gives the same speech, and the people are, they accept him, but then he does something weird, and it freaks people out, and they, run in fear. Eddie goes about his day. He's researching the Men in Black who were trying to capture Venom earlier, but he can't get their name. He shows that he's actually good at his job without help from the alien. Maybe even tries to go on a date or something. There's a montage of Eddie and Venom being worse off without each other. Eddie is at work and people tell him he looks healthier, but then he feels kind of lonely and he starts talking to himself when there's no one there. Venom stops a carjacking and he eats the thief. And then when Venom tries to talk to his new host, they're terrified and they keep screaming, sort of thing. Eddie's concerned about reports of a lethal protector causing more harm than good, and he wonders what he could do to stop Venom, or if anybody could stop Venom if they needed to. Eddie goes to Cletus's execution. It's just as it is in the film. The symbiote stops Cletus from being killed, but before it does reveal itself, Cletus thinks he hears a voice in his head. He knows he's crazy, but that is something new. Cletus breaks out, and it's just like when Eddie was first infected in the first film. There's no sight of the symbiote yet, but Eddie tries to stop Cletus, and he's just kind of knocked away, swatted, and Cletus escapes. Venom is still trying to live without Eddie, but he can't find a host to match, and he's kind of feeling weak. He goes to the shop and talks with Mrs. Cheng, just as he does in the film, and Eddie wakes up in hospital. He's handcuffed to a bed, and Mulligan's there. He wants to know what's going on. He overheard Cletus talking to Eddie during the breakout, and he wants to know what Eddie's hiding. Apparently, nobody knew that Eddie and Cletus had a past, because, this was one of the murders that allegedly Cletus did that went undiscovered before his big killing spree. The news reports on Cletus's escape, and the Ravenscroft staff are worried, and Francis tells them that, he's coming for her, he'll get there, and they'll be sorry when he arrives. The staff say he's not going to find us. The Black Book, and they've been hunting a big alien monster for a year. They think they can take out one crazy guy. Then there's more tests that she's the key to stopping the symbiotes, so that the Ravenscroft Institute can pick up where the Life Foundation left off. Anne and Dan, they go to Eddie's apartment after seeing the news, and he's not there because obviously he's still in custody at this point. And they head to the shop that maybe is very close to Eddie's apartment, and they have the same conversation with Mrs. Cheng. It's a similar conversation about Eddie's heart being broken. Anne and Dan show Venom a news report about Cletus's escape. Venom is worried about Eddie, especially when one witness says that maybe Cletus had some weird goo powers. Venom remembers the bite and suspects that Cletus is the host for a new symbiote. Needs a new host because Mrs. Cheng is weak. So he jumps into Anne and explains that his species sometimes reproduce when they're feeling threatened, so it's a way to make sure that the species survive, even if the one that's being threatened dies. The offspring will be hungry. As a newborn, it's probably still developing its abilities, but the longer it goes on, the stronger it's going to get. They have to stop it before it becomes too powerful. Venom takes off with Anne as its host, looking for Cletus. Dan and Mrs. Cheng are left kind of wondering what they should do. Cletus is going on a rampage, and the voice in his head is getting louder, but he can't quite understand it. He's only kind of partly showing he's got a spike arm or whatever. He hasn't turned into a full Carnage symbiote monster yet, and he's ambushed by the Ravenscroft team, and he's weakened by a sonic weapon. And one of the guards taunts him and says, "I can't believe your girlfriend was worried about you coming to get us." Cletus kills the guards without the symbiotes, and leaves one alive, wounded, so he can ask a few questions. Venom arrives, and he begins to fight with Cletus, who kind of properly transforms into Carnage now, full symbiote. And Anne suggests that maybe they try and talk to the symbiote, because, it's a child, it's Venom's child. But Venom is a blunt instrument, and he's had a little head for tactics. So he just charges in there. Carnage, let's say, ends up impaling Venom, and by extension Anne, who's inside Venom. And because it's a symbiote wound, it kind of hurts a lot more than you would think a normal one would. And Cletus blasts Venom with the sonic weapon, which leaves Anne kind of wounded and Venom struggling to get them to safety, crawling across the floor. Carnage wants to kind of finish off Venom, but Cletus wants to go talk to the Ravenscroft people. He grabs the one still living guard and hauls him into the van, and they leave before reinforcements arrive.